Mind Shift Monday is here. This week's topic is all about follow-up. Follow-up can be intimidating, but at the same time, it needs to be a priority in your business. So that's what we're going to go over today. There are many, many ways. And well, I guess, first of all, let's just start off at the beginning. Welcome. Remember, Tuesday trainings are yesterday. We're moving forward in 2024 with Mind Shift Mondays. So every single Monday is a brand new training. Here in my group, you will get, and in your email, you'll get that in your monthly email as well. You will actually get a training itinerary so you know what's happening every single Monday and you know what the training schedule looks like. But for those of you who might be watching this on YouTube, because I always post to YouTube afterwards, you guys just make sure that you subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, but weekly videos are still remaining to come out. They're Mind Shift Mondays now. And I did create a playlist, so that will be helpful. There's also a playlist on my YouTube for just weekly training videos. So I've been doing videos for many, many, many years, over 10 years now on YouTube. So as you can imagine, there's a myriad of different topics that I have covered over time. So if there's something you're looking for, I'm sure I've probably covered it. It might be out of date, but if you need anything specific or if you'd like to see an upcoming training, let me know. Drop me a message, send me a text, whatever. Let me know what are some of the things that are on your mind that maybe I can help with. So this week on Mind Shift Monday, we are focusing all about follow-up. Like I said, follow-up can be intimidating and some people may not really know where to start. So I'm going to start off at literal ground zero. Okay. So what is follow-up? Follow-up is simply when someone orders from you, it's following up on that order. Now, I'm going to preface this and we're going to branch out here in a second. Follow-up does not just apply to orders. Okay. So keep that little nugget out for a second. It doesn't just apply for people who order, okay? And in fact, because I'm a squirrel, I'm actually going to go ahead and just write that down so I do not forget it. So follow-up is not just for people who order. We're going to come back to that because that is important. And it's something that I didn't learn for quite some time. And I'm always tweaking my processes and looking at different ways and how I can do things more effectively, with more intention, how I can stay on track better. All of those things I'm like tracking all the time. So I'm always looking at those things. So follow up in a sense is when someone orders, you're following up, right? You may have heard, if you've been in direct sales or if you've watched other people, heard other people, watched any other trainings, there's lots of different methods to how you can follow up. Some people like to do the 2-2-2 rule, and that is following up within 2 days from the time that they ordered, to 2 weeks from the time they ordered, to 2 months from the time that they ordered, right? So you're kind of staggering out those follow-ups. What a follow-up is literally a touch point. Okay, it is a touch point. And some of you, because I know I get them from time to time, I'll get texts from, depending on where I've ordered from or where I've been shopping, I will get like a little reminder like, hey, just wanted to see how your visit was when you visited last. I like getting those emails. It just reminds me, okay, great. And I know a lot of it is these big box stores, but some of them will be very helpful. And it's like, oh yeah, I remembered, in fact, when my husband bought me my MacBook, we got a follow-up email like a week or two later from Best Buy reminding me or, thanking me for the purchase because everything goes to my email, thanking me for my purchase. And then also it put in there, a reminder about Apple Care, right? And I was like, oh, duh, oh my gosh, I have to add the apple care to my MacBook. Like that's important, right? And so it's just dropping little nuggets, right? So we want to kind of have that for our customers. So 2 and 2 and 2, the 2 by 2 by 2 method might work perfectly for you, okay? But I don't want you to feel like you have to fit inside that box. And if you don't meet that deadline of 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, then you're like, oh, well, now I've missed it. I'm totally behind. So now I can't follow up now. I said this on the Planathon training, and I'll say it again. Again, I'm probably going to make stickers and send it to everybody. There is no expiration date on a follow-up. There should never be a time when maybe you've missed a follow-up or you've fallen behind, life's gotten crazy, or you just never started doing follow-ups in your business. There should never be a time where you're like, I'm not going to do that, or it's been too long since they ordered, so I'm not going to follow up with them. There is no expiration date. None at all. Okay? We put too much pressure. I believe, this is my personal opinion, I think we put too much pressure on ourselves. And from somebody who has anxiety, I will tell you that anxiety, it can build up and build up. And when I do get behind in my business, because I'm human, right? I get behind in certain things, and then I feel the stress and the weight and the pressure. And then I feel like, oh, I'm failing in my business and this is awful. And oh, I'm just not doing a good job anymore. And then I feel like everything's like the floor is crumbling away, right? Here's the thing, you guys. We put too much stress on ourselves to maybe keep up with what we think everybody else is doing. And while yes, in a perfect scenario, right, all of our follow-ups are on time. We make sure that we get those notices out to our customers about when products are coming, when there's a launch, when a new catalog comes this month with Bring Back My Bar, right? Like, we are on top of it all in the perfect scenario. But we all know that we don't always live in the perfect scenario, right? At least I don't. I don't live in a perfect scenario. My business functions because I keep it organized. And we talked a lot about that on the Planathon. So if you want some information on organization, you can go back and you can watch that video. But I will say that I think, at least for me, going into 2024, I'm really trying to look for ways that I can take the pressure off. I can take the pressure that I put on myself. And it's self-imposed pressure, right? There's nobody telling me to work my business. There's nobody checking to make sure that I did follow-ups, or I sent out my customer email, or I'm working on my swag bags for my Scentsy clubbers, whatever it is, right? There's nobody here telling me that. It's me telling myself that, and I'm putting that pressure on myself. And I find that I end up stressing myself out, or I feel like I start to compare myself going, oh gosh, well, you know, maybe my numbers aren't so great this month because I just haven't been up to date with everything going on, and I've gotten behind, and now, right? That feeling can be overwhelming, and it can swallow you up. It can swallow you up. So in 2024, I'm letting go of all of that. I'm letting go of that stress and anxiety and that self-imposed pressure that I put on myself. Okay, because I've got a busy year, right? I've got school full-time, I've got college full-time, I've got work full-time, I've got my family, the house to take care of, I've got my own personal self to take care of, right? We all are busy, and I don't want us to feel like we have to put more and more and more on our plates in order just to keep our businesses going, because it's not true. All we have to do is be more intentional with our time. Again, go back to the Planathon video. But being more intentional with our time, being more realistic with what is going to work for us in our business, that's what's going to help you to be better at follow-up and to be better at all the things. But specifically today, follow-up, right? So if the 2 by 2 by 2 method works for you, awesome. Keep at it, go for it. Some people will do like a 2 by 3 by 2. I don't know. Pick your numbers if that's easier for you. For me personally, my follow-up is once a week. I have my day that I do my follow-up. And 9 times out of 10, It's usually on a Wednesday or it is on a Friday. Okay, so those are like the 2 days that I touch point for follow-up work. Okay, that's just how I've done my personal calendar. Now, I will tell you that there are times when I am right on the ball. As soon as I get an email that someone's placed an order, I'm instantly texting, emailing, or messaging them and saying, thank you so much. I got your order. I appreciate you, right? I'm doing that immediate thank you. There are other times when that may come through when I'm right in the middle of the crazy day at work. It may come through when I am doing other things. I may not get to it right away. I will usually put a star on it in my email and get to it later, right? That's okay. That's okay to do those things, right? Because you have to work your business to how it's going to work best for you and your schedule. Because again, in 2024, we are not putting undue pressure on ourselves. It's not what we're doing. We are not here for it. We are not doing that. That is not how we are going to focus in 2024. We are going to focus on being intentional. And so if we're intentional, if you are planning a 1 day a week, or maybe it's twice a month even, it could be once a month. It honestly depends on how often you're working your business. For me, I'm touching my business at least every single day, even if it's only 15 minutes, if I've got a couple hours, if I've got the whole day, maybe it's a weekend, right? Those are going to look different. But my point being is I'm working it on a weekly basis. So every week I should at least have some follow-up that I'm doing. If you only work your business maybe every so often, right? Maybe once or twice a month. Well, you need to take at least once or twice a month to do some follow-up. Catch my drift? Okay, so it needs to be really focused in on you and how you're going to work, because let's be realistic with what we're going to set ourselves up for, because that's the other piece, right, of that feeling of that self-imposed anxiety or stress or failure, right? We don't want to feel like we're failing or falling behind in our business. And we're the ones who end up doing that to ourselves, right? Because we're like, oh, I was going to do that and I totally didn't. And now, dang it, right? So we're not doing that in 2024. I don't know what's happening with my hair today. It's in a ponytail and it's just everywhere. So if you see it sticking out in 8 different directions, that's why. So we're not doing that in 2024. We're letting go of that pressure. We're not doing it. So I want you to sit down and really, if you don't have a good grasp on your follow-up, if you feel like you're falling behind, if you just want to set yourself up on a schedule, I want you to sit down and be realistic. How often am I working my business every single month? Maybe it's like me, right? I do maybe a little bit every single day of every single week. Maybe it's like that. Maybe, again, depends on your schedule, okay? And then what I want you to do is at least make it a priority to at least once or twice, however often you're working your business, those need to be follow-up focused days. Why? Because follow-up is important. It's important because, yes, we sell Scentsy. We sell things that smell good. But at the end of the day, why are people choosing you to order their Scentsy through? Why do they choose you? There's millions upon millions. I don't know the exact number anymore. Hundreds of thousands, whatever. Scentsy consultants worldwide. We are worldwide, right? We're international. Why are they choosing you? And that's where the follow-up piece comes in, because here's the thing, right? Pretend that there is a local coffee shop at the corner of your neighborhood, right? Right as you're leaving your neighborhood, there's this little mom and pop coffee shop. And then down the street, there's a Starbucks. Now, what makes you choose the mom and pop? Let's say they even make their coffees the same. They offer the same drinks. Their pricing is similar, right? Why would you choose this one over that one? Because I don't know about you guys, but when I go to Starbucks, yes, they ask me my name. That's cute. They put it on a cup. Awesome, right? Call it my name when it's ready. Maybe the mom and pop shop goes a step further. And maybe when they're giving you your coffee, They're asking you what you're doing for the day, or they're relating it to something that's happening that week, or when it was over the holidays, right? Or they know you by name when you walk in the door. Hey, Jacqui, how are you today? Do you want your usual? Do you want to try something different? How are they standing out versus the other, right? So again, with us in our business, right? There's a ton. I live within, 5 minutes of Tracy DeMario. I'm a superstar director, right? She has a very much larger customer base than I do, right? Because she does events and big things like that. Now, how is it I'm still able to have a successful business and live in the same area, access the same people, right? In a sense, and still be successful? Because I have customers who choose me, and they choose me because I make it a point to tell them thank you every time that they order. Sometimes I'm timely. Sometimes I'm not, but there's no expiration date, right? So I'm always telling them thank you. I always make sure that I'm trying to follow up to see when their order has shipped out. And then I'm doing a quick check-in after their order's been received, okay? I do a lot of that on the back end. And then I'm doing like that reach out of my customers as well. So I don't really follow necessarily the 2x2x2, but I still kind of do the same things in a 2x2x2. The very first time that I see anything, it is strictly a thank you. Thank you so much for your order. It truly means the world to me and my family, because this is my family business. And then I will usually, because what I like to do is I like them to know that I've at least seen their order. So regardless if I've just gotten the email, or if I'm sitting down working and I see that somebody has ordered, or a Scentsy club is processed, right? I will then go to my order history, and I will look to see what did they order. And I will at least pick out one thing out of whatever it is they ordered and feature that. Okay. So for example, it might look something like, hey, Brittany, thanks so much for your order over the weekend. I really appreciate that. I see that you ordered a 6-pack of bars, and I saw that you had winterberry apple tea in there. That is also one of my absolute favorite scents this time of year. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. Don't forget that's also available in a scent circle, so your car can smell the same way. Talk to you soon. And it's literally just that, right? I am not selling, I'm not doing anything, but I want them to know, one, thank you, and two, it's again, trying to make it more personalized, because I don't want it to sound like a robot when I'm following up. I don't know about you guys, but I hate a robocall. I hate a robo thank you. I don't want to feel like just another cog in the wheel, right? I don't want to feel that way, specifically when I'm ordering from an individual, right? In our cases, more of an individual, the mom and pop. Okay, we're the mom and pop coffee shop now. Okay, that's what I want. And that's what I want my customers to feel. The next time I'm following up, it is all about their order. Have you, hey Brittany, I saw that your order will be in real time. We'll be honest, right? I see that your order arrived last weekend, right? It arrived last weekend. I hope you had a chance to open it and sniff out all those bars. Winterberry apple tea is one of my favorites. Have you tried it in, or actually, no, I just said that. So I would maybe pick something else, right? I see that you ordered fluffy fleece. That's one of my favorites when it's a cold winter day. I love putting that in my warmers. It just makes me feel cozy. Which one's your favorite so far? Have you had a chance to sniff them out? Which one is your favorite? Right? So I'm kind of doing a little bit of follow-up, right? For one, I'm ensuring that they got their order, because, things happen. The world can, things happen. I want to make sure they got it. For two, I want to make sure they opened it. You would be surprised at how many people may order things and don't open them right away. Okay, maybe that's the case. I want to make sure that they got it, they opened it, they are happy, right? It arrived in good condition, right? I don't want to get some surprise message a month later saying, oh, I ordered this warmer, when I opened it, it was broken. And that's because I never actually reached out to make sure that it was arrived, or it had arrived. So that's really what that second touch point is It's literally a check-in. Again, I'm not trying to sell them at that moment in time. I'm not trying to ask for another sale at that point in time. Now, I will then add, if they're not already, they're in my customer newsletter that goes out once a week. So I keep that pretty updated on like what's coming, and this is what's coming next week, or this is what we have going on for the month, or whatever it is, right? So they're getting that info. But the follow-up touch point is all about just making sure they receive their order and trying to make it a little bit more personable. Have you sniffed out those scents yet? Or have you tried that counter clean that you got? Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear what you think about it. If you know that they're on social media, one of the things that I like to do, some of my customers who maybe found me on Instagram specifically, or maybe you're in TikTok too, right? Whatever. Then I'm specifically asking, hey, when you get a chance to sniff those scents, if you want to do a shout out on your Instagram, I would love it if you would tag me on your Instagram. That would be amazing, right? So that's just really a great way to kind of get a little bit of that customer feedback, and to also, hopefully, right, it's just like another way to market, right? It's free marketing. So you're reaching their people. That's what we like to do. And then the third touch point, again, regardless if that's 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, I don't know, whatever it's been, right? So that third touch point of the follow-up, that's when I want to say, okay, I know that you've gotten your order, right? So we know that they got their order. We know that we thanked them. So at that point, I'm usually reaching out and I'm saying, Brittany, I know that you ordered back in December. This month we've got Bring Back My Bar. I wanted to make sure that you were able to see that those exclusive scents are back just for this month. I've dropped a picture, if it's in a text or an email, right? I've dropped a picture down below. Feel free to look at those. If you have any questions, let me know. And by the way, I've got a free kit available if you're ever thinking about doing this as an opportunity as well, right? That would be an example of that third touch point, right? So in that case, what I'm doing at that third touch point is that's when I'm touching upon a future sale or a future booking of a party. Would you like me to set up a shopping link for you and your friends to order through? Whatever, right? The opportunity, whatever little nugget it is that I'm dropping in there, that's when I'm making that touch point. Now remember, I don't have to be telling and over spilling all of the Scentsy information during these follow-up touch points. Because if you have a good system in your business, for me, for example, that is a customer weekly newsletter, right? Or I've also got my VIP Facebook group. That's where my customers live. I don't have consultants in my VIP group on Facebook. They're not my target audience. I'm not selling to consultants. I'm selling to customers. So that's why I only make sure that I have customers in that VIP group, right? So that's where I am letting them know what's going on this month. This product is brand new. Here's the with box contents. Oh my gosh, you're going to want to see it. Again, that weekly email, the VIP group, if you have a business page, right? When you're marketing on social media, right? Whether it's Instagram, TikTok, wherever, if you know one of your customers loves like 101 Dalmatians and they're a huge fan of that, right? When you get ready to start talking about that limited time offer that we'll be having, that is when I will also take that opportunity as like I call it a double dip follow-up, right? Where I will advertise and do my marketing. And then if I'm like, oh my gosh, I know how much they love Harry Potter was a great example for me, but I would actually tag them in my posts like, oh my gosh, Melanie, you're going to love this because I know how much you love Harry Potter. Check out these brand new mini warmers that we have in all the houses, right? Like that's when you can kind of personalize it to those customers or do a personalized message or text or whatever. Those are just ways, right, that we're giving information. The follow-up should simply be follow-up. I'm not going to lie. I got confused on that line for so long because I thought that every time I followed up, I needed to be vomiting Scentsy all at every point, right? I needed to be telling them all of the things. What if they forget and they don't want to reorder again? What if I forget to follow up on the next time when after they've received their order? I need to make sure that I'm telling them everything every time. And what was I doing? I was like kind of driving a wedge between me and my customers at the time, because my customers were like, I didn't ask for all that. I just ordered, a warmer and some wax. Like, calm down, right? So the follow-up is strictly there to say thank you, to ensure that they receive their order, and 3, I hope everything's working out well. Hope you're enjoying it. I look forward to doing this again, right? So however it is you're talking about that, whether that's dropping a nugget about the opportunity, whether or not that's dropping a nugget about doing a party or a fundraiser or whatever, right? So it's, again, doing a little bit of that. That's what a follow-up is. Everybody else needs to be going through your systems, whatever that looks like, whether that's, some of you might use Project Broadcast, right? So you're texting those customers. Maybe you're like me and you use an email to talk to your customers. Maybe you just use a VIP group. Maybe you just use your business page. Maybe you use your personal page, whatever it is. That's where those communications are going. That's going to make a difference in your follow-up. I promise you. Now, remember, I made myself a note, okay? Follow-up is not just for people who order. What else do we follow up on? What else would you follow up on, Jacqui? What else is there? I mean, you're going to follow up when somebody places an order. Duh. You're going to follow up when somebody has a Scentsy Club process. Duh. Have you ever done follow-up on samples that you send out? That one took me a long time to get around to, and a long time to actually implement, okay? To actually take action. Because even when I realized I was missing an opportunity, it took me longer to figure out, okay, how am I going to do that? Okay, so let's break this out for a hot second. When you are doing any mail outs of samples, I don't care what kind of samples they are, you pick. Maybe it's scent of the month. Maybe it's the holiday collection when we had it. Maybe it's the Valentine's Day collection, right? Whatever it is, Mardi Gras, whatever. Pick it. I don't care. You sent samples out. Are you keeping a list of who you send samples to, or who you're mailing information to? If somebody messages you on Facebook and says, hey, I would love to sample that, and you'd be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll totally get a sample out to you in the mail, and you do it and you send the sample out. The missing piece to a lot of that, because this is what I heard, and I started realizing I was missing the boat, and then I was realizing I was missing the boat and trying to explain this to my team members too, right? Because the question I was getting is, I'm spending so much on mail outs this month and last month, and I'm not getting any responses. And I was like, oh, okay. So, and even myself, like I said, this took me a hot minute, and I was like, okay, I sent all those mail outs. I sent the flyers and everything, and I didn't get any sales. Nobody really contacted me. Nobody liked it on my Facebook. Nothing happened. I don't know. Maybe I'm wasting my time. Here's the thing. If I'm not following up on those, what's happening with those mail outs? I'll tell you what's happening with those mail outs is people are getting them, and maybe they're excited like me if I have some Etsy person who I've bought from, and then they send me like a little sample later on down the line. Oh, hello. Girl, you got my order for life, right? Like, I am in like Slim. I am there. But here's the thing. We send out, I don't know if yours is anything like me, but in my business, I send out a lot of samples. And I have sent a lot of samples out over my years as a consultant. And again, I was like, why is nobody responding? Why am I not asking? Light bulb moment. Why am I not asking them what did they think of the sample they received in the mail? Why am I not asking that question? Because if they had bought from me, what would I do? I would thank them. I would follow up to make sure their order was received. I would then, touch base again, see if they're ready for a wax refill, whatever. Maybe they want to open a party, blah, 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 blah. I would do all of that if they ordered. What if I could capture some of the people that I'm actually taking time and money, because postage is money, right, of sending things out to people? Why am I not asking them what they thought of it? So when I started asking people, what did you think of that scent of the month? What did you think of Candy Orchard? Did you like it? Was it too sweet for you? Is it something that you think that you'll love? Remember, it's also available in pods now. This is fantastic, right? Like, what are you doing to follow up? If your answer is, I haven't done that, or I never thought of that, whatever, hello. This is your light bulb moment, okay? So you are going to start also finding a way to follow up on the samples that you're sending out, because let's just be clear as mud here, okay? When I am doing samples, I am taking time to make the samples, even if it's just crinkle cutting them, right? Putting labels on the bags, putting bags in the bags, and the bags in an envelope, and writing and printing the thing and the postage and all that takes a good chunk of time, right? It's taking a good chunk of my time to do all of those things. And I'm paying for the postage to send them out, even if it's a 1 stamp envelope that's going out the door, right? 1 stamp times 100 people, right? That adds up for a minute, right? So if I am expending all of that energy and time and that monetary piece of my business budget of mailing out samples, why am I just going to let that sit and not check back on it? That's on me. That's on me for not doing that, right? Because yes, a lot of people, they're just as busy as we are, right? They're busy. They may or may not even check their mail every day. I'm one of those people. I don't always check the mailbox every day. I'm not gonna lie. We have like in our HOA, right? We've got like a community mailbox, right? So it's not like I just open the door and I'm like, oh, the mail. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. There has been like times where it's been literally like a week and I'm like, oh crap, I should probably check the mail. I haven't checked the mail in a minute, right? Maybe there are people like that. Who knows, right? Who knows? Or maybe they got it and they just hadn't even had time. They got it here. I don't want to show anybody's info, but right, like they got their envelope and they didn't even open it yet, right? And they were just like, oh yeah, I got that, but I haven't had a chance to even open it. Okay, they're busy. So when I started realizing that I needed to take my follow-up to also the samples that I'm sending out, things changed. Things changed drastically. Okay? So here's how I track that, okay? So when I am sending out samples, we're just going to use the scent of the month for a true example in this scenario, okay? So I get the scent of the month. I decide I'm going to send it out to the people who have ordered from me for the last 3 months, whatever, right? I'm going to make my little samples, put them in the baggies, make my fun stickers, whatever else. I'm going to make sure my info's on it so they know where to order it from. I'm going to stick it in envelopes. I handwrite my envelopes. Unless it's a package and then I print it off, but it's probably much easier just to print, like do a mail merge, print your envelopes, whatever. Put the stamp on, drop it off at the post office, okay? It's a whole thing. But when I do that, I actually am going into my order history, and I will tell you, if you guys have not done this, the orders and the reporting of the orders has gotten much better. Has anybody else seen this? Okay, so you can actually go to your orders and you can go in there and you can see a timeline, right? You can see a purchase history of when people ordered. And so what I do is I actually go in there and I pull my history. I look through my order history, and everything is then in a spreadsheet. I keep it all digital on this case, simply because it's just easier that way. I put it in a spreadsheet, okay? And then that way I can work from the spreadsheet. So I know everybody who I've sent mail outs to or samples to. And then I can print that off because sometimes I'm just running around with my binder. Okay, not going to lie. I've got my binder with me and I'll throw it in my binder. And then I can just go down the list. And then on those 2 days a week, because for me it's 2 days a week for follow-up because I'm working my business on a regular weekly basis. So on those 2 days, I'm literally going through going, okay, I've got time today. I've got 20 minutes. I need to focus. I'm going to do some follow-ups. Okay, so now I can go down my Excel spreadsheet and then I can highlight. I can mark it off. Okay, talk to Brittany. Okay, talk to Linda. Okay, talk to Carrie. Okay, right? All of that. So you can set up a very similar system, and maybe yours isn't as extensive to where you're like, yeah, I don't need a whole spreadsheet, Jackie, I got this. Okay, that's fine. Write it on a notebook, piece of paper. If you're like me and you use a binder system, use your binder system. If you just want to write it in a regular notebook, write it in a regular notebook. If you want to write it on little index cards, do it that way. I don't care how you're doing it. The point is to get it down. So that way you have something to follow up on. And then when you're following up, those don't necessarily have to be as personal. My sample follow-ups are not as personalized as an order follow-up, right? So my sample follow-up, because I want to make those quick and easy, because for me, I'm batching a larger group of people, okay? I'm batching a larger group of people because usually the people I'm sending out samples to are the people who have ordered or who are on my mailing list, right? Like they order on the reg, whatever, right? Like I've got those people. So what I am doing is I utilize boards. Some of you might be using boards. I use that. So I'll just simply text out and I can create a message on my board's keyboard, right? That basically says, hey, I hope you got your sample of the month with Candy Orchard. I'd love to know what you thought of it. Is it one that you like, you love, or you hate? Right? And I usually will put like little emojis with each one, right? Like a like is a thumbs up, a hate is a thumbs down, and then a love is a heart, right? So that's how I put my emojis in, and I send that text out. So that way when I'm texting those people, all I have to do is go to my board's keyboard, boom, 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 boom. I can knock out a handful very quickly, okay? You can do the same thing if you're emailing. If you want to email people, right? Same thing if you want to Facebook message people. Copy and paste. Write it once, copy and paste it into every message and send it out, okay? Depending on how you follow up with them, right? Text, email, messenger, I don't care. If you're a phone call person, then phone call them all day long, okay? But either way, you need to be following up on those samples. Because while we hope that everybody is going to love everything and they open every piece of mail that we send them and all the things, we live in the real world. We live in the real world, and we know that for one, yeah, they may have seen it. Yeah, they may have sniffed it. Yeah, they may have loved it. But then life happened, right? And the kids got sick, and then they had to go back to work, and then they'd completely forgotten to order. But when you're sending them that quick and easy text of, hey, I hope you got your sample of Candy Orchard in the mail. Did you like it, love it, hate it? Let me know, right? It's quick, it's easy. They can text back, or they can be like, oh yeah, I did get that and I love that. Yeah, Jackie, hey, I love that one. Actually, I wanted to place an order on Friday when I get paid. Awesome, right? You've now started a little bit of a conversation. So you see how follow-up doesn't just have to be for orders. It shouldn't just be for orders. You are spending time, energy, money into doing mail outs for samples. And if you're not, then your business isn't there, then that's okay, disregard. But when you do get to that point, please make sure that you put a follow-up piece to that. And like I said, your follow-up system can really be anything. I've got a binder, so mine is, it's an Excel spreadsheet that I'll print off for those email follow-ups. Sometimes I'll do the same thing with order history. It just depends if I've been spending time in my office or not, or where I'm kind of working from. But a lot of times too, it's in my daily planner, where I'm actually just writing things down in my daily planner. And sometimes that's easier for me. So again, whatever system it is that you're using, just find a way that you can go back and do that. So again, follow up is going to, I want follow up to really take a front seat in your business in 2024. We are going to be following up. We are going to work that into our business because I am here to tell you right here and right now, follow up is going to give you a better customer base, a more reliable customer base. It is going to help your customers feel valued. Why? Because they are. I don't know about you, but I value every single person who orders through me. Every single person. And I want them to know. I want them to know that that means a lot to me, that they ordered through me, that they chose me to be their Scentsy consultant, or they chose me instead of going to a big box store, whatever. They chose me. And you're also going to see that those customers are going to come back to you more frequent. And that's only going to lead to growing a bigger, wider customer base. And at the end of the day, I want you all to grow your customer base. Because in 2024, we are going for it. We are building things. We are building things. Let me say it for the people in the back. In 2024. Okay? We are making our successes this year. And that's what we're focused on. So take some time, think about what your current follow-up system is now. Do you have one? If you don't, that's okay. It's okay. There's no judgment here. This is a judgment-free zone. We don't judge, okay? It's okay because now you know, and now you know you need to create one. Now you know you need to think about it and whatever, right? Okay, we got it. Okay. And for 2, are you being consistent with those follow-ups? Like I said, how often are you working your business? Make it a non-negotiable in your business. Again, it's what I call my meat and potatoes. Those are my non-negotiable. My meat and potatoes. Follow-ups have to happen. I'm working my business a little bit every single day, every single week. So for me, it's 2 days out of the week that I'm touching follow-ups because they are that important. How often are you working your business? Find a way to work them into your schedule. And then you need to really come up with the best way, right? That's the biggest part. And I know it's going to be the hardest part. And it might take you some trial and error. You might decide to just use a binder. You might, or a notebook. You might decide to use the binder system. I've got a whole video on that, and it's got all the links in there for everything that I use. So if that's something you're interested in, awesome. I will tag it here on the YouTube. It will be there. You can go there and get those resources. But you just have to figure out what that's going to look like for you. Realistically, what are you going to stick with? Realistically. Because that's the key part. Right? We can talk all day long about how we're going to do this. But if we don't actually make a plan, execute the plan, and then continue to do the plan, then nothing's going to change. So those are the things that we have to do. And we have to implement into our business. All right, so that is our mind shift for this Monday. All right. Next week, let's see, what do we have next week coming up on the itinerary? Next week, this is my favorite one, how to party without the party. I'm not going to lie. That's my favorite one. Okay. I actually have, I'm actually going in, I've got a medical procedure that day. So I might end up having to pre-record that. We shall see as we get closer. Because I honestly don't know if I'm staying in the hospital that night. I have to find out what I'm doing next Monday. But either way, I might just pre-record it and then post it on Monday. But that is what is coming next week. So I hope to see you guys there. I hope that you've had a wonderful weekend. And here's to a great start to another wonderful week. Bye, guys.